Hazel Crest regular board meeting. Pledge of allegiance. Trustee Moore.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Grant.
Here.
Trustee Moore.
Here.
Trustee Ramsey.
Present.
Trustee Reyes.
Here.
Trustee Rogers.
Present.
Trustee Slayton.
Here.
And Mayor Osborne.
Here, we have a quorum. Correspondence.
Yes, yes, Mayor. I have one. Oh,
I'm sorry. Prayer, please, Pastor.
Let's bow our heads. God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this moment in time. We thank you for the gathering of minds, and we just ask, God, your presence here, that wisdom will be abroad here. We thank you for the decisions that need to be made, the areas that need to be discussed, and we just ask that you would meet us here and that you allow things to be done in decent and in order. And we thank you for everyone that is present. We thank you for fresh minds, renewed spirits, and great hearts to commit to the work that you've assigned us to do in this village. And we thank you in your son's name. Amen.
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 Thank you. Correspondence, please.
yes, Mayor. Yes, I have one. Okay. I have from Mr. Lewis Pitt. He would like to thank you, Mayor Osbury, for keeping to his promise in resurfacing 17600 Central Park Avenue. All of the residents on Central Park are very grateful and proud in how it looks and feel it has increased their property value. So he wanted to just thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. I want to thank Country Club Hills for actually paying half of their costs. Actually, we actually had it paved because one side of the street is Hazel Crest, and the other side of the street is Country Club Hills. We went on ahead and paved it, and then we asked Country Club Hills to pay us the other half, and they passed it at their board meeting yesterday. So I want to thank them. So the board will be looking for me about paying for the whole thing out of our budget. But I appreciate their cooperation. We have, of course, reports. The mayor's report first. I'm going to read the resolution. I know I have a little laryngitis, but I want to read this because the person reading for Mr. Austin was such a great friend of mine and my wife. And Mr. Austin, most of you guys
And mine, he's my church member.
And other members on the board.
Okay.
They went to church together with him at St. Anne. But also we used to see him and his wife walk all the time through Pine Hills for many, many, many years. And sell us those tickets, those fundraiser tickets.
To the racetrack.
To the racetrack. And also he actually supported me at an event I had at the racetrack. So I want to thank him and his family. I worked with his daughter for many years at South Suburban Hospital. And so they were a great family and great people from our community that really shows what it means to be Hazel Crest proud. So I'm going to stumble through this, clear my voice out a little bit. So it's a resolution in loving memory of James L. Austin. Whereas James L. Austin, 87, a lifelong resident of Hazel Crest, was united in holy matrimony to the late Cecil Joe Austin, nee Gatham, on September 14, 1957. And to this union, 3 daughters and 1 son were nurtured. And whereas James L. Austin was a U.S. Army veteran, and whereas James L. Austin was kind, caring, generous, a devoted husband, and a loving father. And whereas early on, James L. Austin worked as a chemical engineer at the Illinois Institute of Technology Research Institute and served as Secretary of International Psychotechnics Society. And whereas James L. Austin, a man devoted to his church and community, was the recording secretary for the St. Vincent de Paul Society and St. Anne Church. He organized many events to the benefit of St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Store. He was most noted for the Night at the Races fundraiser. He planned the Belmore Racetrack. He planned at the Belmore Racetrack. He also assisted at the Catholic Charities in Thornton Township, packing food for families at Christmas time. He volunteered for the U.S. troops, serving overseas, and to whatever other capacities in which he was asked to serve. He was a dedicated member that loved his church, community, and country. And whereas we do not understand the mysteries of death, but we do bow in humble submission to the will of the Almighty God and commend his soul to our lovely Heavenly Father, is too wise to make a mistake and too just to do wrong. Therefore, be it resolved by Mayor Bernard L. Lawsbury Jr. and the Village Board of Hazel Crest that we do extend our sincere and heartfelt sympathy to the entire Austin family. And we do say to you, look to Jesus for your source of comfort. And where it be further be resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the Austin family, and one will be placed in our files, done the 9th day, October 2018. Faithfully submitted, Bernard L. Lawsbury Jr., Honorable Mayor. Thank you very much. Been talking more tonight.
Okay.
Okay, at this time we have the swearing in of the commissioners.
We can go.
I just want to make sure we don't get confused.
Yeah. Those who's here.
Yes.
Bernard, Paul said he was sorry he couldn't make it, but he's got another thing going on.
What do we got? Here we'll move forward.
Let's start with economic development. Anyone else? Trying to get this with the mayor and. Sure, I got someone in economic development. Beautification. This is, oh, here we go. Okay. How you doing? Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and abide by all ethics and requirements per the Village of Hazel Crest, Cook County, and the state of Illinois. Excuse me. As a member of the Economic Development Commissioner to the best of my ability. Best of my ability. Okay. Congratulations. Okay, next up will be community relations.
going on, man? How you feeling?
Congratulations.
Hey, how you doing?
Stand here.
Which one?
Sir.
Anyone else? Oh, are we waiting on anyone else? No? Okay, can you raise your right hand? And repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and abide by all ethics and requirements per the Village of Hazel, Crest, Cook County, and the State of Illinois, excuse me, as a member of the Community Relations Commission to the best of my ability, excuse me, the best of my ability. Let's go back, okay, as a member of the Community Relations Commissioner to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
Get in a little bit closer. All right. Right. There we go.
Do we have civil service? No? Okay. All right.
Congratulations.
Cable. Do we have the board and fire?
All right, well, thank you, man. How you been? Good to see you.
And I got beautification. Can you raise your right hand? Repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and abide by all ethics requirement per the Village of Hazel Crest, Cook County, and the State of Illinois, as a member of the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
You want to look up. I had to look away. He wanted to do it again. Okay.
For your son. We won't let you get away that easy, right?
Yes.
Just gonna run and sit down on it.
You can stand, yeah. You're gonna, yes, you're gonna stand together. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I need you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, thank you, and abide by all ethics and requirements per the Village of Hazel Crest, Cook County, and the State of Illinois, thank you, as a member of the Senior Commission to the best of my ability. Thank you. Congratulations.
All right. All right. They pulled him through.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Help him out. Help the guy. Help the brother. Help the brother. All right.
Get the minister of fun.
Nice shot, nice shot, nice shot.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Thank you.
Lady Di, congratulations.
All right now.
Congratulations.
Hello. How you been?
Thank you so much for your service.
I'm just sorry.
My man.
You're not going for the whole winter, I hope.
January, February, that's the whole winter?
Pretty much.
That's right, in the spring.
Check it out.
Chairman of fun, all right.
You gonna lay right there? In front? Okay. Okay, you can lean, Lean on Greg, young man. Okay. Yeah. Okay, raise your right hand. Right hand. Okay, repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and abide by all ethics and requirements per the Village of Hazel, Cook County, the State of Illinois, as a member of, to the best of my abilities.
Somebody brought him in too.
Thank you for your service, Greg.
Open lands.
Okay. All right, I get you right back.
How about them cups?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for your service.
Trustee Grant, nice to see you in commission again.
The clergy.
Congrats, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Congrats, Ms. Gill.
I'd like to thank all the commissioners for serving, because a lot of the work we do in the community, we could not do without the volunteers from all of the commissions. You know, communities, without volunteerism, you can't really function. So I want to thank all of you and honor all of you for serving on the commissions, and letting you know also, as we have openings come up, we'd like other citizens to come forward and get involved, especially in our youth commission, which we're really trying to grow, our clergy commission, and our community relations commission, just a few. So we do have some openings on the other commissions. Just come forward and ask, and we actually make you go to work. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay. Next, we have the manager's report.
I'm gonna keep it brief. Just echoing the mayor about the involvement of commissions. We had our finance committee meeting last night, which was pretty good, informative, and moving forward. In addition, we're still working on our CAFRs. They will be, Whiffley will be here next November to present our comprehensive annual financial report. And there's some other great things that have happened, but I'm not going to take away the thunder from my directors as we talk about the Pakistani delegation that was here, as well as U.S. Army Corps engineers. And I'm just leave it at that today.
Okay, thank you. We have legal.
Mr. President, during the course of the administrative meeting, the board conducted an appeal hearing at the request of business LD Swag, whose business license has been revoked by the village manager for cause. The board heard the presentation from the lawyer for LD Swag, and we will get the transcript from tonight's proceeding available for the board, and then the board will be in a position to make a final decision on the appeal. at the next meeting in November 13th, I believe it is.
Police?
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things real quick. We just had our sergeant's exam last week. We had 6 people take the sergeant's exam, and we had 4 people who passed it and were able to proceed through the remainder of the process, which was an oral interview with our Police and Fire Commission and the Assessment Center. So those 4 people now being evaluated, and tomorrow the final listing and the final rankings of those 4 people for the current sergeant's list will be out. Also, we had an incident that took place last week in town, and I want to thank the citizens. And this was, for a horrific incident, it was the perfect storm because everybody worked together. We had an incident that took place, and it was a tragic incident, but we had witnesses that came forward and said what they saw. We had video cameras that had captured some of the incident, and people provided that footage. The officers did a tremendous job. The person was in custody within a couple of days. It was not a random thing, so the community is not in danger. It was not a random thing, but the subject's in custody, and it's tragic for the victim and for the subject, who's a juvenile, who's now going to probably be spending the rest of his life in jail. So, I say that to say that, first of all, the community is not in danger, and then secondly, to let you all know that, as I mentioned, it was a combination of things. When things happen in the community, if you got security cameras on your house and it can be of some aid to us and law enforcement, please let us know. We canvass the area whenever something happens, but sometimes people aren't home, sometimes, people might be apprehensive, whatever the case may be, but this, like I said, this for a bad situation, this was a perfect storm because everybody came together the way it's supposed to work, and we all worked together and we were able to resolve the situation. So I want to thank the community. I want to thank everybody that's involved. Thank you, Mayor. That's it.
Thank you.
No, last week.
Public Works.
Thank you, Mayor, trustees, fellow directors, and residents of Hazel Crest. A few things I just wanted to point out. I believe at last meeting, Trustee Moore had asked for an update on the Pulaski Road at 183rd Street project, which we're doing with Country Club Hills. From my understanding from Baxter and Whitman, who was the lead engineering firm for this project, that we are finalizing the right-of-way, obtaining the right-of-way, which will not be certified until the end of November, which means that our letting can be pushed back to March, which means that that's when we'll initially put the bid out the project. We put the project out the bid. Our cost for this project is estimated at about $157K based on the split of the local share match, which is required for this project. With regards to the street resurfacing project, they have completed all of the main streets. They are finishing the cul-de-sacs at Maple Court and Oak Court. There's still some little restorations that you might see that have to be done, like filling in grass to where the concrete meets with their parkway. You probably noticed some of those horses that they left out there, which they left out there to kind of mark some of the areas they got to go back to and do some touch-up work in. The mayor mentioned that Country Club Hills has agreed to an intergovernmental agreement to do a 50-50 cost split for the Central Park Avenue from 175th to 177th Street, which our estimate would be about $31,000 as the split for each municipality. So we'll be receiving $31,000 from Country Club Hills toward the cost of that project. I want to mention that yesterday, Monday, October 22nd, we had a quite interesting water main break at the intersection a little north of 174th and California, approximately where the field meets up with a walking path on the southeast corner of the field. We did have a little difficulty identifying the correct line to reduce the water pressure in order for the public works team to resolve it. But we was able to get it resolved, in some hours. We did have to stay late to get it done. But I wanted to highlight this incident for 2 reasons. One, I think it's a good example of how public works on a daily work together to, problem solve and get things done as a team. And then 2, just remind us that, we still have to do some updating of some of our system maps around here, which makes it easier for us to identify, where some of our important some of our important infrastructure are, which then speeds up our time to repair. some of our vital city property. And then last but not least, I passed out, give you guys a little heads up, I passed out this exhibit for 3 different projects that everyone should have. Let me know if you don't have a copy of this. And so maybe about a month ago, the Village of Hazel Crest submitted, so let's backtrack 1 second. Maybe about a year or so ago, Country Club Hills, I learned of Country Club Hills having a water main infrastructure project, which was done in support by the federal government, specifically the Army Corps of Engineers. At that time, when learning that event, the mayor decided to submit a letter to our congresswoman asking if we could be eligible for any federal assistance with regards to repair to our water infrastructure improvement projects that we have identified. The congressman did respond to that letter and put us in contact with the Army Corps of Engineers, which now is considering us for a grant to help pay the cost for these 3 projects that you have right here in front of you right now. We have had a couple meetings with the Army Corps of Engineers and as well as Robertson Engineering to go over what this process will look like and to identify potential projects for the grant. We have not been awarded the grant. While we have not received confirmation, the Army Corps of Engineers indicates that once they receive their funding from the federal government, that it is likely that we will be awarded this grant. The total amount of the grant has not been decided. Roughly, we're looking at between $800,000 and $1 million of assistance from the federal government. Our local match will be about 25% of that, which comes to around $300,000. However, because of the projects that we identify, some of these projects have been long-standing projects that we gotta have a chance to address in public works, just due to the complexity of them. Like, for example, if you look at the project location that says 170th Street connection, where we physically have to go underneath the tollway over there, you know, we just haven't had the ability to take on that project independently as a village. So we're looking at, you know, getting some projects done to greatly improve our water system that we can do with the aid of the Army Corps of Engineers. So we're gonna, and because of the timeline that we have, which I think is moving a lot faster than we initially anticipated, we're hoping to start working with Robertson to come together with some type of engineering agreement so they can start on this sooner rather than later, because they have to get the permits, of course, from multiple government agencies to move this project forward. And the Army Corps Engineer hoping that we can put this out to bid tentatively by September of 2019. So which means by that point, the Robertson Engineering and the village will have to do all the engineering work, obtain all the permits, you know, be ready with our match for whatever the finalized project amount is, be ready to put that out to bid by that time. So that's why we're kind of moving on an expedited timeline with regards to that. So if anything changes, I'll certainly come back and make you guys aware of any changes, but I just want to give you guys an update on what's going on, because we'll be looking to move forward with this and subsequent board meetings.
I got a quick question. I want to backtrack to the 183rd and Pulaski. What's the delay with the repairs on 183rd and Pulaski?
Initially, well, the delay was with they had to obtain more right away than what they initially had anticipated. So now they had to go back to the people that own the right away, the businesses over there, and then purchase those right-of-ways from those businesses in order to get the project moving forward. The fortunate part is that the project is coming in under than I think they originally had estimated for a cost. So when I went back and I looked at the intergovernmental agreement, I think we had originally signed it for about $196,000. Right now, they're projecting us to have our cost to be about $157,000.
So we're not looking to fix that until after the winter?
Correct. It will not be done until after the winter.
Because my concern is how that street is going to deteriorate between now and Chicago land winter.
So Public Works have went out here and hot patch or put in, patch some of the holes that we had, some of the potholes that we had. When you come around that turn from 183rd and Kedzie going back east, 183rd and Pulaski going back east to Kedzie. So we're trying to, maintain the street in this interim period, but to your point, it won't be done until after this one has been.
I
have a question on the water
The
project.
bad thing about it is that, you know, without their money, we can't do the street, and they're not gonna give us the money. The good thing about it is that we purchased more land because the idea was add another turning lane. So you can have 2 turning lanes going left off of 183rd Street, because it's very, not thin that street is on Pulaski. So what that allows us to do to have more space to actually have cars turn. So I know it's a delay, but we wanna do it right, you know, because if we don't get all the pieces that's important to make it a safe turn, then all this be done and not, you know, so, it's been bad for a long time.
It's been bad a long time, and I'm concerned about the damage to vehicles between, after this winter, and the potholes that we're about to have.
We patched
We patched it with holes.
Patched the potholes again.
Attorney?
It's the job, it's the 3 corners where the gas stations are. If you picture that, the state is the party that tries to buy that land. And if they want more money than the state's willing to pay, they go to court and ultimately negotiate. But that's where the widening is. If you think of that, there's Walgreens and then the other 3 corners are gas stations. That's what the truck is.
They kept changing, Doc. At first it wasn't gonna be that much. Then they decided to, which was good, but it delays. Sorry about your cars out there. We're not trying to tear them up. We're trying to make the street permanent. So,
I had a question on the water main project. Is the Army Corps of Engineers will they actually be involved in the construction of this, or are they just providing the funding, the grant?
Not construction. They will be, so the Army Corps of Engineers have to review the bids that come in for the contract.
Okay.
So they will be like overseeing the engineering and the construction. They will not be directly involved.
Okay. All right, thank you.
it's a good project. We spend almost $300,000 with water main breaks a year.
Yeah.
So this, you know, the money we put in this will really help us take care of this long-term project, long-term problem.
My understanding that it's going back for decades.
Yeah, I know we have frequent water main breaks, so this would be a great project to get accomplished.
That's it. Thank you. Inspectional services.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. I have one update. Due to a reduction in inspectional service department workforce, the village entered into a short-term 30-day contract with BNF Construction Services for third-party inspectional services. We have a code enforcement officer and a building inspector. They started this week. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Human resources.
Thank you, Mr. President, Board of Trustees. Just a few things. Thank you to my fellow directors for your assistance with a regulatory assistance visit conducted by our risk management agency today. And that happens, or is supposed to be completed every 3 years, but it has to be the year after the IMAP assessment, which was last year. So technically, it was 4 years ago that we had the last regulatory assistant visit. But it covers things, just so you know, like OSHA requirements, Illinois Department of Labor, Department of Transportation, and EPA. So thank you all for your assistance today. I greatly appreciate that. Second thing, as you all know, our insurance coverage for benefits for employees is out to bid with our broker, the Horton Group. And I did talk to the rep today. And he actually gave me a figure. Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is of course our medical provider, actually started with a bid of 1.37% increase across all 4 tiers, which is good, because what they're going to do is go back and say, we don't want an increase, we want you to decrease it. So we're starting at a good point. So just to give you an update, so far so good. Third thing, I am working with Deputy Police Chief Oldenburg and Supervisor Nicholson on filling the part-time police records clerk position. And remember me if you win the Mega Millions. Good luck.
Mega Billions.
Thank you so much. Fire department.
Oh, that's funny. If he got one, that's funny.
I'd like to thank all the employees who completed the CPR AED. Cards are in the mail, basically. They should be handed out early next week for those who completed the course. And thank you to Lieutenant Shields of the fire department, who conducted that all by himself.
all employees at the village. He trained them all on CPR and AED. This week, last week, Tuesday, we put up 3 new units, 2 in this building, 1 in Public Works building, and replaced 3 in police department, the ones that go out in the vehicles. So they got all new stuff and everybody's been trained up. So that is my report.
Thank you, Chief. Community business.
No. Carolyn's not here. You want me to go ahead? Okay. Thank you, Mr. President, Board of Trustees, and fellow directors. Economic Development Report for October the 23rd, 2018. The Economic Development Department continues to meet with potential business owners who are interested in bringing their businesses to Hazel Crest, and we're making every effort to work through the process of encouraging them to be a part of the Hazel Crest community. Armanetti Liquors has met the requirements from inspectional services to obtain permits and build out 18230 Kedzie. With the police department, they've also submitted to the police department to obtain a liquor license for that same location. The permits were issued on October the 10th. The build out has begun, and we look forward to that business coming prior to the holiday season. I was contacted by the U.S. Department of State and asked to facilitate a meeting on October the 17th between President Alsbury, the South Suburban mayors and managers, and a group of Pakistani delegates to share and expound on economic development and government structure and process. In our efforts to accommodate their request, I worked closely with President Alsbury, our village manager, Chris Williams, Christy De Laurenti of South Suburban mayors and managers, our police department, Congresswoman Robin Kelly's office, and also Attorney Nina Fain, who is a member of the Chicago Bar Association's Board of Managers. We welcomed our guests with a meet and greet, a short question and answer session, and a tour of Hazel Crest, where we visited the sites of our flagship businesses, possible opportunities for economic development, and our 2018 redevelopment sites. The meeting concluded with lunch, further Q&A, and our guest's final statement was, "We have been all over the world and have never been received so well and felt as welcome as we have here in Hazel Crest." And so they thanked us for our hospitality on that day. We believe this meeting with the Pakistani delegates that was comprised of Pakistani mayors, school board superintendents, and attorneys resulted in the group having a better understanding of our government dynamics and opportunities for economic development, which further support the village presidents and the official board's mission to promote the interests of our citizens of Hazel Crest and expand new business opportunities for our residents and surrounding communities. So that was a great day. So thank you to each of you for supporting that effort. Updates on our redevelopment efforts. 17065 Dixie, which is going to be home to Hazel Crest Professional Building, is about 80% complete on the demolition and will conclude by the end of the month. After the building is completely demolished, the sorting process of materials from the demolition will begin, and it will take an additional 3 weeks for this process. This process is necessary for disposal. The new building materials have been ordered, and the build-out will begin upon delivery and continue through mid-January. 3601 West 183rd, home to our new village hall, is at 97% complete on the demolition on the interior. And the interior build-out will begin by the end of next week. Removal of the clay tile on the outer exterior will begin within the coming weeks, and construction will continue through the winter into the spring. The village's construction manager and I are working together to coordinate a subcontractor seminar, and in our efforts to get Hazel Crest businesses, minority businesses, business owners, and residents involved in these redevelopment opportunities. Once the date and time has been selected, the information will be made public and distributed with our Economic Development Commission and our efforts to hope to attract many additional qualified applicants. And that concludes my report today.
As you see, the village manager putting out, the white building is the 171st Street building on Dixie Highway, which will be completed around December. And then you can pass that around or you put it in the window, however you want to look at it. John said no.
Just push.
Put it right there. Then the other building is the new Village Hall. So it's a front view and a side view of the 175th Street piece. At this time, can I get a motion to open the floor for public participation for items that are on the agenda?
I move that we open the meeting for public participation for items on the agenda only.
Second it.
Moved by trustee Ramsey, second by trustee Reyes. Open for public participation for items on the agenda. If anyone want to discuss any items that are on the agenda, this is the time to do it now. All's in favor?
Aye.
Any comments for any items on the agenda? Can I get a motion to close public participation for items on the agenda?
I motion to close public participation for items on the agenda.
Second.
Moved by trustee Moore, second by trustee Ramsey, to close for public participation items on the agenda. All's in favor?
Aye.
Any business? Trustee Ramsey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to approve regular minute meetings of October 9th, 2018.
Second.
Moved trustee Ramsey, second by trustee Slayton, to approve regular business meetings for October 9th, 2018. Any discussion on this item? Roll call, please.
Trustee Grant,
Yes.
trustee Moore,
Yes.
trustee Ramsey,
Yes.
trustee Reyes,
Yes.
trustee Rogers,
Yes.
trustee Slayton.
Yes.
Motion carries. Trustee Reyes.
I move to approve accounts payable number 19-12 dated October 23rd, 2018 in the amount of $620,506.39.
Second.
Moved by trustee Reyes, second by trustee Moore, to approve accounts payable number 19-12 dated October 23rd, 2018 in the amount of $620,506.39. Any discussion on this item? Roll call, please.
Trustee Grant,
Yes.
trustee Moore,
Yes.
trustee Ramsey,
Yes.
trustee Reyes,
Yes.
trustee Rogers,
Yes.
trustee Slayton.
Yes.
Motion carries. Trustee Rogers, all you have to read is this part of it. Trustee Rogers.
I move to approve resolution number 08-2018, initiating the submission of a binding public question concerning time limits for the offices of the village president, village trustee, and village clerk of the village of Hazel Crest, Cook County, Illinois.
Second.
Motion to approve resolution 08-2018, initiated submission of binding public question concerning time limits for the office of the village president, trustee, clerk of the village of Hazel Crest, Cook County, Illinois. Mr. Attorney, could you explain the question, please?
At a election a year or two ago, a citizen-initiated petition was passed with two-term term limits for the elected officials. This question would in effect ask the voters to reconsider that and determine whether a four-term term limit would be more appropriate for service as an elected official in the village. So that's the question. If the board passes the resolution, it would be on the ballot in April. And a yes vote means the expanded term limits. No vote means the term limits as we have now, as a result of the last referendum. Just one minor point, Isaac pointed out that just looking at the form of the question, it may be more appropriate where we say village president, village trustee, and village clerk to have village president, village clerk, village trustee, because the president and clerk always run together. So if there's no objection to that, we'll fix that up, and so it'll be both in section 7 and in the ballot form. It doesn't change anything, but it just has parity in terms of the clerk running at the same time as the village president, which always happens.
John, should we make trustees plural? Trustee plural?
No, because it's one office, village trustees. There's multiple holders of the office.
Right.
But the office is village trustee.
Okay.
Well, can I ask a question about that? In terms of that, the resolution or the proposed referendum, it asks the question, but it doesn't give residents any sense of why we're asking for that. Is it appropriate to put any language in there that talks about why it's more appropriate to have 4 terms, such as, stability of office and continuity of things like that? Can you put anything in there, or does it just have to be?
Not in the question itself, only the question goes in, but moving forward towards April, the board has the ability to send out communications to the public relative to this. Now, let me make one caution. If you spend public money, if you spend village money, whether it's on postage or anything, the communication has to be neutral, meaning that it says pros and cons. We get those every once in a while when the state proposes an amendment to the state constitution. We'll get that in the mail, pros and cons. We can do that with public money, but what we cannot do with public money is to urge people to vote one way or another. On the other hand, you as elected officials can sit up here at any meeting and explain exactly what you said, why you believe that this term limit makes more sense over the other one. Sometimes there's elected officials get a little wary about saying something like that because of this concern about spending public money. You can advocate as much as you want about a particular matter that's on the ballot. The only restriction is limitation on spending taxpayers' dollars.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just to be clear to the public, we're advocating to change the term limit from what it was voted on last time from 2 consecutive terms, which means that elected official can only serve for 8 years, to 4 consecutive terms, which means they can serve 2 4-year terms. And we advocate for that because most businesses, when they come to the community, they look for stability. If you're going to change your government every 2 terms, you're going to have major problems with businesses coming in and worrying about who's going to be the next elected official sitting behind the desk. We see that a lot right now. That's happening in the village of Lansing. They changed theirs to 2 consecutive terms. Lansing's having some major problems with businesses wanting to stay because when new people come in, everybody has a different idea how things should be ran. So stability is the most important thing. We're still having term limits, but we're going from just 2 to really 2 4 consecutive terms. I'm an advocate for no term limits. I let people know all the time. I think citizens are term limits. I think you and Hazel Crest has been a great advocate for actually voting people out when they don't do the job. So that's my advocacy. But what we're asking people to look at now is, 4 consecutive terms, so we have some stability. And in small towns, people run out of people who are going to run for office. And that causes a problem also. So that's why we're putting this out there for the public to make that decision. Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Moore?
Yes.
Trustee Ramsey?
Yes.
Trustee Reyes?
Yes.
Trustee Rogers?
Yes.
Trustee Slayton?
Yes.
Motion carried. Trustee Slayton. You have to read this one.
I have to read this
Yes,
one?
ma'am. It's not as long as the other one.
I move to approve resolution number 9, 2018, designating the Bernard L. Alsbury Jr. Municipal Center. And I'll read the resolution. A resolution designating the Bernard L. Alsbury Jr. Municipal Center. Whereas Bernard L. Alsbury Jr. has resided in the village of Hazel Crest in excess of 20 years, and whereas President Alsbury has tirelessly devoted himself to the betterment of our village as a devoted family man, community leader, elected village trustee, and elected president of the village, And whereas under President Alsbury's leadership, village government has pursued policies of providing a safe environment to our residents, providing a full range of municipal services, and maintaining fiscal responsibility. And whereas for many years, the village has recognized that the current village hall, a retrofitted elementary school building, is no longer appropriate or functional in order to provide the residents with the full range of services to which they are entitled. And whereas President Alsbury had the vision to find suitable property upon which to build a new municipal center appropriate for the needs of the village and its residents moving through the 21st century. And whereas President Alsbury's vision led him to see the potential for a new municipal building in an underutilized office complex located at 3601 to 3699 West 183rd Street. And whereas following this vision, the Board of Trustees developed a comprehensive plan which resulted in the acquisition of the new Village Hall property and the approval of a responsible financing plan. And whereas construction of a magnificent new Village Hall comparable to other area municipal centers is moving forward, and whereas once the new municipal center is completed in summer 2019, the village will be able to provide first-class services to our residents for decades to come. And whereas the new municipal center will serve as a model of transparent government and a hub for community activities, and will also provide a tranquil venue for community, social, and family events. And whereas these achievements of the Board of Trustees are due in great part to President Alsbury's leadership and tireless devotion to Hazel Crest in the spirit of service before self. And whereas the Board of Trustees has determined that it is reasonable and appropriate to recognize President Alsbury's efforts. Now therefore be it resolved by the President and Board of Trustees of the Village of Hazel Crest, Cook County, Illinois, in the exercise of the village's home rule powers as follows. The Board of Trustees of the Village of Hazel Crest hereby designates the newly constructed village municipal building as the Bernard L. Alsbury Jr. Municipal Center in recognition of his leadership and devotion to our village. Signage. The Board of Trustees hereby directs that appropriate signage be erected as part of the construction of the new Village Hall to recognize this designation. This resolution shall be in full force and effective upon its passage.
Second.
Second.
Been moved by trustee Sladen, second by trustee Reyes, to approve resolution 09-2018, designating the Bernard L. Alsbury Jr. Municipal Center. Any discussion on this item?
Just like to point out the 2 corrections that need to be made before this resolution is signed. You mentioned them earlier, yes.
Any other discussion on this item?
No.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Grant?
Yes, with
Trustee
corrections. Yes, with corrections.
Trustee Moore?
Yes.
Trustee Ramsey?
Yes.
Trustee Reyes?
Yes.
Trustee Rogers?
Yes.
Trustee Slayton?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank the board for the support.
I said yes. I
And,
haven't been voting.
Thank you very much. Thank
Are you
very
crying?
much. No. I can't. No, I'm not crying. With that, thank you very much. No crying in politics.
No crying in politics.
Thank you very much. I want to thank my lovely wife for being here also.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Trustee Grant?
Thank you, President Alsbury. I move to approve intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Hazel Crest and the City of Country Club Hills for the resurfacing of certain portions of Central Park Avenue.
Second.
Been moved by trustee Grant, second by trustee Ramsey, to approve an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Hazel Crest and the City of Country Club Hills for the resurfacing of certain portions of Central Park Avenue. Any discussion on this item?
That's the one that's already completed.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Moore?
Yes.
Trustee Ramsey?
Yes.
Trustee Reyes?
Yes.
Trustee Rogers?
Yes.
Trustee Slayton?
Yes.
Motion carried. Can I get a motion open for public participation for any item?
I move that we open the floor to the public.
I second that motion.
Moved by trustee Slayton, second by trustee Reyes. Open the floor for public participation for any item. All's in favor?
Aye.
If anyone wants to speak this time, this is the time to come forward on any item that you have some issues with or just want to say anything.
I just want to take a moment to remind everyone this Saturday, we are doing the Health and Vendor Fair in the senior room. And we have 75 free flu shots from Walgreens. First 75 people get free flu shots. There's also a presentation by Sandra Slayton, yes, on new Medicare recipients. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, getting started with Medicare.
Getting started with Medicare. So spread the word. Please, please, please come out. That is going to be from 10 o'clock a.m. until 1 p.m. this Saturday in the senior room. And we are also accepting vendors right now for our our holiday craft and vendor fair. So if you know someone that sells, make sure you spread the word. Have them call the village. We are signing up vendors. That is November 17th. That's all I have.
Anyone else? Can I get a motion to close public participation?
Hold on a second. I think somebody was, did you want to say something, sir?
Miss?
No? Okay. The gentleman kept raising his hand.
The Economic Development Commission is inviting business owners and entrepreneurs to attend a global entrepreneur workshop presented by the South Suburban College Oak Forest, the SCORE, and the Tri-SBA on November 14th on Wednesday, 8:15 to about 2 o'clock at 16333, which is Oak Forest, the college, Suburban College. And we're limited seating, so we're asking everyone to please register early. The information should be on the website for registration.
We'll put it on the e-news too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. That's an entrepreneurship workshop to be given at Oak Forest, South Suburban College. She's heading that event, let people know about it. Also important, this Saturday is going to be an awesome event. If you want flu shots, get health information. Those of you who had a birthday this year can do Medicare, sorry. It's a great event to go to also. Can I get a motion to close public participation?
I motion that we close public participation.
I second that motion.
Move.
Oh, sorry.
My name is Ray Hill. I'm a resident over in the Highlands, okay? I have a concern I just heard today, and it was just brought to my attention about 5 o'clock this evening. There was an incident over in Highlands, and I wasn't quite sure exactly what happened there, but some neighbors who had brought it to my attention were very concerned about what happened, and I wanted some information as to what is being done, or if there was something that was in existence at that particular residence that we were aware of, or if the city had done, the village had done something about that, or knew something, or if there's action being taken on in that regard.
There's not an ongoing problem there, but the incident that took place today, we don't believe to be a random incident. We believe that that house was targeted due to someone who may be staying there. So the officers are in the area, they're being proactive with our patrol. We think it's a result of something that happened in another town.
Okay.
But it's not, once again, it wasn't a random thing. So, as far as people that live in that area, having major concerns about that, this, we believe it was targeted.
Okay. Is there any action being taken to make sure that that sort of thing in that particular residence, in a residence of whatever that was going on there, is being addressed?
Like I said, what we're doing is we have directed patrols, what it's called, in the area. And the officers are looking for, are in that area, and they're looking for people who might be involved in anything resulting from what happened earlier today.
All right. So suffice it to say, would that be, for the neighbors in my area, as far as the concerns are good, what should I tell them as far as if
They
that's?
can feel free to contact the police department and any concerns that they have, and as best we we can, we'll make sure that we address it.
Okay, so we don't have a concern that it's not something that's gonna bleed off in other parts of our neighborhood?
No, sir. Like I said, we don't believe it was a random thing. This was something that was directed.
Targeted.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The other question I had, and this is the only other issue I had, as far as, with the complexity of what's happening right now in the political arena, as it were, is there any type of activity that's going on here to solicit volunteers to work phone banks for?
Can't answer.
No, well, no. You mean far, you talking about election time?
Election time, yeah, election, volunteer for.
We can't talk about election stuff. We'll talk after we leave out the building.
Okay, I understand. All right, well, thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you. Thank you for coming. Anyone else? And I just want to be aware that any incidents that's happening, that's my part of my neighborhood too, right now from our house. We have, police has been on it. I've asked a million questions to be sure about what that incident, and any houses that are causing problems in that neighborhood. The police department has been on it really strong. So anything that's happening, we will communicate it to you. If it's a danger, we'll make sure everyone knows about it. If it's something that we're taking care of, we're actually going to take care of and make sure it happens. But to assure you, I have talked to the police chief offline also about that issue. We're working on it. Anyone else? Can I get a motion to close public participation?
I motion that we close public participation.
Second.
Moved by trustee Moore, second by trustee Reyes. Close public participation. All those in favor?
Aye.
I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I made it through and still able to talk a little bit. So have a good evening. Thank you for coming out. We're adjourned
Yeah.
at 7.